Who's gonna?
I'll start off.
Good. Let's go it.
We're live.
Let's do it.
We are live. Welcome, Minifans, to the second night of the Minifan Mashup. Tonight's a very special half hour. A little old wrestling talk here.
Wrestling.
Yeah, we got four all-stars in the house. We got Mr. TJ Hubbard. How you doing?
Howdy. Woo.
Mr. Adam in Jersey.
What's going on?
Mr. Joe from Virginia.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing well. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing excellent. So I'm going to start with Adam in Jersey. We'll go around the room here, and I just want to know, do you guys watch wrestling now, and when was your prime time wrestling watching period? So, Adam, you go first.
All right, so I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to say my prime time watching was from the early 90s to about 2002 when WCW came under WWF, and it Shane owned that. I mean, I used to, on Sabbath, sneak away behind my parents' back and go put on Fox 25 and watch Saturday Morning Superstars then Saturday Morning Challenge.
Right.
Once the WCW came in and it was all under one, I stopped. It just got a little stale for me. Then I started watching again in 2014 when my wife's friend married a guy who's into wrestling, so I use it as an excuse to have someone to talk to him about. So now I watch every once in a while. I pay attention to mostly WWE with a little AEW, and I think the product sucks now.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
All right. So I started watching the summer that I was 13, so right around 2003 area. Being in the WWE at the time, was watching TNA when that first came out, and I watched all the way through up to about WrestleMania 30. And then I fell out of it a little bit. I actually went on the independent circuit in New England for a little while. So I wrestled. Yeah, so I wrestled all through New England.
That's why I brought him in. That's why I brought him in here. Come on, I'm the expert on the panel.
Wrestling name. What's your ring name?
So my ring name was, I wrestled as a French Canadian. It was under Michel Moulet.
Not Jacques.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I wore like purple tights and a bow tie. I had like a blue bow tie.
Jacques Sniffer.
Jacques Sniffer.
And Joe, you have the best mouthpiece that I've seen so far. You want to show the people that what you got going on there, and you got the Le Champion.
So I got my Le Champion shirt, and then I also have. Hold on one second, I'll show you guys.
It's a nice heat lamp.
Sorry, I had to put the phone down for a second.
Le marijuana grower.
And I also got my Le Champion mask.
Nice.
Nice.
Love it. So TJ, keep going. Yeah, sorry.
So I wrestled for about 5 years or so, and then I kind of fell out of wrestling. Didn't watch it for a long time, and then AEW came back in the fold. My friends were all into it because they were big into WCW when that came out, and then started watching that a few months ago and got completely hooked back in again.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny because like watching the AEW product now is like watching WCW back in the day. The graphics kind of resemble the same thing. Obviously, they got Shivani in there. I mean, it's very WCW like. It's nice.
Exactly.
So TJ, what about you, my friend?
I'm older than you guys are, slightly. I did watch Hulk Hogan fight Ultimate Warrior on a Saturday show in Maine. Back in like '86, but most of my prime watches was the Attitude Era. So Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, stuff like that. I mean, I was 21, so we were drinking beers, watching that shit, and it was fucking amazing. It was to me that was my wheelhouse. And as of right now, I tape Friday Night SmackDown, Raw, and AEW. And I usually watch the first 10 minutes and watch the last 10 minutes. Unless it's something in between. AEW stands out to me more now. I think the storylines are better. I like Chris Jericho. I like, obviously, Orange Cassidy to me is the up-and-coming wrestler. I absolutely 100% love the guy. He reminds me of Dave Cullinane. Absolutely,
he does look like
adore Orange Cassidy, and I think that he's going to be put over here in the next at least a month or so. I mean, he's already over, but he's going to be put over soon.
I think that Orange Cassidy is going to be the second TNT champion.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So then TJ, if you're we'll do favorite wrestlers now. I'm guessing yours is from that Attitude Era.
It is. You might
do
be
you got?
surprised.
What do you got?
Hailing from a Truth and Consequences, New Mexico.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
It would be the man of many faces.
Yes.
And the person that got his ear ripped off by Vader.
Yep.
Mick Foley.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely my favorite guy in the ring. To watch him get tossed off the top of that fucking cage. I can't even say it. Like I even watching it, him doing that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and then still being alive. But you know, we watched it was a couple years ago, WrestleMania, where Shane McMahon did the same thing.
Yep.
Just doesn't have the the same effect, I guess.
So did you like all his characters? You like Dude Love too? I was a big guy.
Dude Love was all right. Cactus Jack during the ECW era
Yeah.
was definitely really good. Early on in the WCW, when he had like feuds with Paul Orndorff and Vader,
Yeah.
and so it was.
Have you seen him at all recently? Like when he came back just to become like the Raw commissioner and stuff?
Yes, yeah.
He was hurting. You could tell those hits to the head.
Be surprised.
No, I know. It's to trot him out there. It's just like what the fuck are you doing?
Joe, you ever been slammed? Ever been body slammed on a bunch of tacks and barbed wire?
No. So I've done a few ladder matches and things like that. So I was in one ladder match where I was literally like the way the match ended is I was a handful away, and then the guy came up behind me and power bombed me onto a ladder that was set up in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so that was not fun.
So Joe, who's your favorite wrestler? Go to you next.
So my favorite wrestler is going to be kind of an unpopular choice due to last events. My favorite wrestler growing up as a kid was Chris Benoit.
Oh, I mean, take the personal stuff out of it. Take
the personal stuff out of it. But I don't know. It's just because he wasn't that tall of a guy, but he always went in there and he was ruthless. He didn't care who he was fighting, whether you were 5'2",
you move in the ring, the crossface,
7 foot. I used to do a crossface a lot actually, and then I also did the dive and headbutt a lot.
Nice.
That's great.
That was mostly until I started hitting it for like the first 2 years of me trying it. That was my Ric Flair move. So I'd jump off the top rope and I would always miss it. And I would just land flat on my face.
The WCW, remember they had that cruiserweight division?
Yep.
That was so
my
loaded.
favorite
Think about that. Jericho, Mysterio, Benoit, Guerrero, Malenko, Juventud Guerrero. I mean,
Psychosis. Go through the whole list. I mean, it was insane.
Conan. Yeah, it was nuts.
the stuff that Rey Mysterio Jr. could do in the ring, it was just phenomenal. I could sit there and watch his old WCW and old WWE matches. So if I had to pick a number 2, Rey Mysterio Jr. would definitely be my number 2. I was obsessed with him. I bought all his shirts. I used to try to do the 619 in the ring. I could never figure it out right. But like, I loved Rey Mysterio Jr. Like, I don't know how he did all those moves, but it was amazing. Amazing.
So Adam in Jersey, what do you got? Who's top of your list?
I mean, it's cliche, but there's no one better than the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I was always a Shawn guy.
That's a good
choice. Hated Brett. I remember when Shawn got jumped at the bar and had to relinquish the Intercontinental Championship. I think it was like in 95 or 96, whenever that was. And he came out and semi-retired for a little bit at that point. And I was a kid at the time. I was in tears. I was distraught. Shawn was and always will be the best without any question. Obviously, because it's me, I have to also shout out Barry Horowitz. But
here he is.
love it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Shawn is where it starts and ends for me.
I mean, in the ring storytelling, in my opinion, there's four people. This is my opinion. You got Shawn Michaels, you got Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and then my favorite wrestler, Mr. Johnny Gargano. I'm a huge Johnny Gargano guy.
Johnny Gargano.
He's a
newer guy.
As old school as I am, because mine's between like The Rock, Hogan, Bryan, and Johnny Gargano. I mean, he's main evented 8 takeovers. He was the first Triple Crown winner in NXT. He's got the real title, the U.S. title, and the tag team title. Some of the matches that he has, man, him and Ciampa, him and Cole. I mean, him and Hamas. Oh my God, just everybody.
So I
first
actually
NXT
worked out with
takeover?
Ciampa a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The first NXT takeover I ever saw was when DIY broke up, and they just it was insanity.
Brutal.
What they did.
Absolutely
Crazy.
Absolutely brutal. So then we're going to move on to matches. So we'll start with Adam. Why not? You ended last one. What's your favorite match of all time?
So I went back and forth on a lot of these. I cut it down to 3, but I'm going to start with. All right, I'm going to go with, speaking of the cruiserweights in WCW, Fall Brawl 97, right? That was headlined by Hogan Sting. It was an epic battle between the two of them. The opener of that match was Eddie Guerrero beating Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
They did not high fly. It wasn't crazy. It was just a purely beautiful, technical, storytelling, great match. And it was just one of the best I could ever imagine, and I've yet to ever see it get topped.
Yeah. That was
I know exactly what match you're talking about. That I could go back and watch that 100 times.
Yep.
So Mr. TJ Hubbard, what do you got? Who's your favorite?
God. Favorite match. Hard with the matches. I mean, again, with the Mick Foley Beach Bash 91 versus Sting, which he called he called his favorite match. That was pretty good, even though he lost. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. It's hard to go back through like the WWF and then WCW. When you're a kid, you always watch WWF and you felt like, oh, WCW was the lesser product, but it wasn't. It was on par with everything else. And then when the two of them mixed, if you guys remember, the big brawl in the ring. Oh yeah. And then who comes in during the big brawl? You hear the music and you hear the glass break. Oh yeah. And then Stone Cold's running through the ring and he's just knocking people out. Yep. Now, as far as Mick Foley goes, I mean, by the way, that moment, and there was I was more of a fan of the moments like that than it was the actual match. Yep. I always watch the matches to see what happened at the end, to see if there's any turmoil. But when Stone Cold came running out, that was my favorite part of wrestling, period. Yeah. And if it wasn't Mick Foley, it would be Stone Cold Steve Austin as my favorite wrestler. Yeah. Hands down. It's just the way it was the way they portrayed him versus Vince McMahon. It was anybody who beat the shit out of Vince McMahon was. So even for this, a couple years back when Kevin Owens headbutted Vince McMahon and cut him wide open. Yep. Unbelievable. That was. Yeah. He'd be like my third favorite wrestler because I love him too. So.
I mean, but KO now stunning everyone left and right.
Yeah, I mean the freedom. It's like the freedom that they were given before with The Rock and Stone Cold and Mick Foley. They were given so much freedom in the ring that they could develop personalities. Now they have their hand on every little thing that is said in the ring, outside the ring. The wrestlers can't connect with the fans. I mean, it's terrible.
And nowadays,
this no fans is really rough to watch.
Oh, it's terrible.
Well, AEW's kind of
put tough. At least AEW's got like the wrestlers in the crowd, so I could do that.
WWE's starting to do that too.
Yeah,
they're starting to do it now. But when they started, it was like no fans is just tough because they're trying to get that. They're on the mic trying to get that pop, and it's like, hey guys. Oh wait, there's nobody here.
Yep, it's unwatchable.
And then you also realize that even in the stands, they have. I don't know if you've seen the video, but they have the video on the big jumbotron of telling them exactly what to do in the stands and when to cheer and when to boo and who to cheer and everything.
Oh really?
It's disgusting. I
haven't seen that yet.
I could do a full hour on how much I fucking hate Vince McMahon. I fucking hate him.
But have you guys noticed, and I was never a fan of Roman Reigns. I don't like him. I don't like the character. I don't like. I just don't like his moves. I don't like it. Something about
I actually like this.
I do. I do too. I gotta do.
No, I never did. And that Superman punch is dumb. Dumb as shit.
Not when Orange Cassidy does it.
No.
The thing is, if he wasn't
Orange Cassidy does it.
No, TJ, if he wasn't being forced down your throat at the beginning, would you like him? That's the problem.
Yes,
they try to stick it down your throat.
And when the Shield first started, I was like, oh, fuck these guys, Jesus Christ. And then at least what the WWE did is make you like the Shield.
Yeah.
And then they blew that up like idiots. Yep. And they lost Dean Ambrose because they're not smart enough to figure it out. They lost Dean Ambrose, which is, AEW's go-to talent. Yeah. And he's unbelievable. What a talent he is.
Right. So Joe, do you have a match that sticks out in your head, in your mind that you
Yes.
go back and
So
look at?
this would be my first WrestleMania that I ever watched. It was 2004, right before I turned 14. It was WrestleMania 20, and it would be the main event, triple threat, HBK, Triple H, and Chris Benoit.
Mhm.
That match is it's the whole thing is tit for tat the whole way through. You don't know who's gonna win. Somebody goes for the pin, it breaks up, and then that moment at the end where all the confetti's going. Chris Benoit's got the tear in his eyes. He's got the belt on. Eddie Guerrero comes out after he successfully retained, and he's crying, and they're just hugging in the ring. Because I was a big fan of them when they were part of the Radicals, and the Radicals came in to WWE, and I felt so bad for Eddie because Eddie had his debut match and he injured himself in his debut match in WWE. So the big push the Radicals were getting kind of got put on hold a little while, but then he came back and like redeemed himself because he became Latino Heat and like.
Ooh, Latino Heat.
Remember that?
Latino Heat. There's never been a guy. Speaking of Eddie Guerrero, there's never been a guy who would cheat his ass off as much as you want, and you just loved it. Every time Eddie Guerrero would just do the Guerrero finish, he'd smash the chair on the ground, throw it at the other guy. The ref would turn around, DQ the match. Eddie Guerrero's just there smiling like.
Yeah, I love it.
I did like
incredible
a little bit.
So then we're gonna move on. So my favorite match would be I have two kind of old school, new school. The old school one was Warrior Hogan. WrestleMania was six, and that match was the first time I remember watching it. I think I was like 8, 9 years old. I remember watching it. It was the first time like good versus good. Because Vince loves his bad guy, good guy stuff.
Of course,
and it was the first time you had like the real, true faces of the company fighting each other. And then to me, the ending, just to watch Hogan lose clean in the ring, was just shocking. Just blew my doors off. And then the new school one, because I have 2 daughters and I have to face the fact that if I'm gonna get them into wrestling, it's gonna be women's wrestling. And so Sasha Bailey at Brooklyn Takeover.
Oh God, yeah.
That's the storyline leading up to that was just phenomenal. I mean, like Bailey's arc, the way that, and like the crowd, I don't remember the place. It just exploded when Bailey won. And so it's kind of like my new school thing. I'm an NXT guy. It's in my heart. So everything I have is NXT. So it's
Rob, let me just shout out to TJ. I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if you would, but my second that I was wrestling with was, no pun intended, was the Undertaker Mankind Boiler Room Brawl, where Paul Bear turned on Undertaker.
That is a good
one. It was between that and the Guerrero Jericho.
Yeah, that is an excellent one. The Undertaker and Mick Foley angle was unbelievable. I love that. That was freaking awesome. I think, and when you're talking about the females, I forget the girl that comes out and she's all in neon. And
Naomi.
Oh boy, don't I love that intro? For some reason, that intro. You know why? You know why it does it for me? It reminds me of the strip club.
I was gonna say that's the exact. There's no other question.
So good.
So TJ, that's why you love the Attitude Era of wrestling. You love it because of the women, because that was like
it wasn't. No. I like to fight, the infighting, everything about it. But yes, they do things then that they don't do now.
Right. I mean, there is no. Actually, I take it back because this past storyline, I don't know if you want, but they have this woman, Mandy Rose. They have a storyline with her with like one of the big fat guys from Heavy Machinery.
Yeah,
and he's awesome.
What's his name?
Tucker? Otis.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I like Otis. I am Otis.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Otis, and that was the storyline that I was watching.
It was good too. It was very good. It was actually very good.
But I would say AEW does a better job of storylines. Other than that Otis story and Mandy storyline, they did a way better job of their storylines to the point where, just the big stadium. I forget the one AEW just had where they're inside a football stadium.
Oh, double nothing.
Yeah, the guy Hangman Page came out on a horse.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Stuff like that. That was, to me, that stuff's funny. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't really have a favorite match.
Yeah.
Because I like the surprises.
Yes.
To
Which
me,
like with the internet today, it's hard. Like I can't imagine what my young self would do if I had the access that I did now, like being able to see all the surprise stuff before it's going to happen. Because like you have to stay off it. It's crazy.
You get stuck. You get like, say you shine into your Facebook and you're looking around. You're like, oh, look at this video. Someone posted an old wrestling video. And you click on it.
Guys, lost you for a second there.
And then all of a sudden you are in a rabbit hole of fucking matches, promotions, and everything going on, and The Rock coming back. No, and that's the best thing to me is when people come back.
Yeah,
like you haven't seen for a few years.
Edge has been unbelievable, and it's breaking it's breaking my heart. Yeah, it's breaking my heart that Edge is having this happen with no fans, and that Drew McIntyre is having his title reign with no fans. It's driving me crazy. But let's jump on favorite entrance music. We'll start with TJ Hubbard up in the top hand corner.
That's easy. That is CM Punk's.
Nice.
And one of my favorite wrestlers of all time too. And again, I like all these guys. CM Punk's. You heard the music coming. You're like, here he comes. Charisma. By the way, he was. Living Color was a pretty good band. But you heard that music and shit was going down. He's coming out and he full of ring charisma. He had it all. He really was good. And it's too bad, and now he's back with the WWE, but it's too bad they got him out.
Stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I can't believe he doesn't wrestle. Can you believe he can't wrestle?
There's no way.
He has to at some point.
Immediately he's put over like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's the best right away.
He's AJ Styles. I want him to kick the shit. Like him versus Daniel Bryan would be unbelievable match again. I think they fought in the past. Yeah. But there's other ones that I'd like for him to kick the shit out.
They wrestled a bunch of times on the independent circuit. Him and AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan.
The way they could do this is take the biggest heel, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And just have him out there. He kicked the shit out Rey Mysterio Jr. and his son. Say he does that, and he's just kicking the shit out of him, brutal, and he's trying to get his eye. This past week would have been great. They're gonna put his eye onto the steps again, and you heard CM Punk's fucking music come out.
It's just
insane.
It's insane. It's never gonna happen.
Did you see the pop that Edge got when pretty much everyone knew he was coming back anyways, and the pop that he got at the Royal Rumble? It would be.
Dude,
and the thing is too, it's not like I'm a guy who is completely against bringing back people who are way over the hill. I hate every Goldberg appearance. I fucking hate every Undertaker appearance. I like Undertaker, but I hate every Undertaker appearance right now.
Steve from Providence, his favorite wrestler.
Who, the Undertaker? Goldberg? No, I like him, and I liked him, but I think
good in his heyday. But nowadays, it's just
50 plus shouldn't be in a wrestling ring. Like 50 plus is not happening.
You see Ric Flair.
I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. So you're going with CM Punk, Adam in Jersey. What do you got? Favorite entrance?
So you said favorite entrance music. I had actually picked a favorite entrance in general, and I had a tie. And the thing was, first and foremost, Sandman ECW coming out with a pack of smoke, a beer in his hand, and a fucking tendon stick. That's pretty good. What's better than that?
Dude, he used to bloody himself before the match started.
His own ass before it started. And then my other one is, we see a lot of guys like nowadays, like the real Aleister Black, not the intern one, coming out from under the
that's my favorite song.
Whatnot.
That's my favorite song.
It's a great song. It's a great song. But to me, the best entrance, because it didn't happen at the time. You all of a sudden hear Latin or something like speaking in tongue. The arena goes red. There's a circle of fire at the top of the ramp, and up come the Brood. Edge, Christian, and Gangrel.
That's a good choice.
And then the guitar and the drums pump in. And it's fucking banging, and Gangrel's drinking from the chalice of blood.
Gangrel got the shit end of that, huh? He got the shit end of that stuff. Holy
yeah, he did.
Jesus. What about
he wasn't a good mouthpiece. They should have just kept him in the back, kept him quiet, kept him brooding. But once he got on that mic, it was all downhill from there. He could not cut a promo.
Him, Luna Vachon, and the Oddities.
Mr. Joe, what do you got for entrance? What's your favorite?
So I also did entrance. I thought it was entrance, but I'll give you
either way
music because that one's easy. So my favorite entrance music has got to be Edge. I don't like every time you just hear the dun, 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 dun,
so you must have lost your shit at the Royal Rumble. Did you lose your shit?
God. I had no idea it was happening. He came out. I jumped out of my seat. Oh, it was insane.
Yeah.
Now,
I
my
love it.
favorite entrance is not the most popular guy, but when Mr. Kennedy used to come out and do his own introduction, be like, "Oh, I'm 199 pounds this week."
Yeah.
Lost a pound, guy.
He was good,
and he
right?
would just be like, "Mister." Oh,
Yeah.
I just ate it up. I bought all his. I ate it up.
That's
Ate
awesome.
it up.
That's
So-
great.
So I have a couple. I have my old school one would be the Godfather. I used to love the Ho Train. The Ho Train. They all come out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That shit was good. And then I love Finn Balor. I think his entrance.
So as Finn Balor or as
as the Demon.
As the
Which
Demon.
which I think, in my opinion, is one of the most missed opportunities that WWE has ever had, ever. They had a person who was there. NXT, he was so popular. In Japan, so popular. That when he won the NXT championship, and then with the streamers in Japan from Kevin Owens, that match was fantastic. But they had that there. They could have done it. And then I actually went to the SummerSlam when he won the championship versus Rollins. And then he was injured the next time they had to give it away. But I was at that SummerSlam. That was the worst SummerSlam ending ever when Lesnar bloodied up Randy Orton and they had to call the match. Terrible.
And then he got into a fist fight with Jericho behind the scenes.
Oh, terrible. So those are my entrances. So real quick around the room, we're going to do one last thing. It's going to be the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. So real quick, you have 4 guys to put on the face of wrestling. Doesn't have to just be WWE, face of wrestling. Mr. Adam in Jersey, you go first. What do you got?
All right. I divided up into 4 columns.
Yep.
Best overall, like I said before, Shawn Michaels is going to get that in my book every single time.
Yep.
Best promo, Chris Jericho. And that's a heavy list, but I have to go. Chris Jericho on the mic will beat anyone any day.
Yep.
The best technical wrestler, I will give it to Edge. And then my 4th category was biggest impact on wrestling, and I would give that one to Undertaker.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Love it. All right. Wow. What do you got? Mr. TJ, what do you got?
Well, Mick Foley. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
The Rock. And number 4. Doink
You can't say Big Cat.
Doink the Clown.
Doink the Clown. I love it.
Doink the
By the
Clown.
way, is there a better character in the WrestleMania arcade game than Doink with that giant fucking hand slap to the face?
Right.
Never.
Holy shit.
Right?
No, my 4th one would be probably CM Punk. I mean,
Nice.
he did pretty good. He was during that.
CM Punk was all around. All around.
WWE back during that era with Daniel Bryan, and don't underestimate the power of Kane here.
Yeah.
Kane was a hell of a fucking wrestler.
So here's another thing. Kane's one of the guys. Loved Kane, and then it just became to the point where it's like I can't see fucking Kane wrestling in the main event of Monday Night Raw anymore. And they shoved him down the throats for like an extra 3 years.
I would think
like
they
3 solid years. It was at the end. It was just like, come on, buddy.
To play with Daniel Bryan and Kane as teammates.
Yeah.
That was great.
Team
it.
Hell No.
Actually, worked.
No.
It worked.
Yeah.
Some of the silly stuff works some of the time. It doesn't have to be mysterious.
You have to. You got to do silly shit. You got to.
I love when they went to anger management classes and stuff like that.
So Joe and Virginia, who do you got? Who's your
all right?
Your 4?
So for my 4, I got. I'll start off with Austin. Austin to this money is probably still like top 3 or 4 merchandise sellers. Just period. But then Austin just. He just radicalized everything, changed everything around the Attitude Era. So I have to start with Austin. 2, I'd have to go excellence execution. Got to go Bret Hart. Just the way that he would do, just the way that he would pull things off. You just couldn't see, like, amazing. Yeah. The other 2 were tough. So the 3rd one, a little bit more modern. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho on the mic, in the ring. Yep. He's still like in his mid to late 40s, and he's still crushing it every week. He's been wrestling for 30 years. And then the last guy, like, he's really not the best wrestler in the world, but he made more money and put WWE or F at the time on the map. You got to go Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Like he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite.
Probably
He's
the
not my
worst.
best.
Probably the worst wrestler ever in the ring. I mean,
worst finisher of all time.
When you're
Leg
a wrestler,
drop.
You talk about
Ever.
you talk about the fucking Superman punch being a horrible finisher. A fucking leg drop.
but you
terrible.
gotta talk putting asses in the seats, selling tickets. Like
Yeah.
I don't
want to pick them, but you have to put them on there. You know.
Plus,
what I mean?
plus you have to put him in there as like the second act too, Hollywood Hogan, because I was a huge NWO was the fucking balls.
I want to
exactly.
Can I let me address real quick? Let me address.
The John from Scranton
JFS,
Network.
baby. What's happening?
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Take the back out.
Hey,
No,
Mount Rushmore. Look at
yes.
Hell yeah, dude. It says
There
hell
you go.
yeah on the back.
JFS. What do you got? Hey, who's your
There's
Mount
nothing
Rushmore?
more
What do you
badass
got?
than that.
What do you got? Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
JFS 316.
Yeah, dude, I got this. I was looking for the regular 316 one, and it's like $300 now. I don't know where my phone went.
That's all right.
Whew, I had to do that, guys. Sorry.
Hey,
No,
hey, who's your Mount Rushmore? Who's on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling for you?
So it would be Stone Cold, then probably X-Pac, then probably
Pac, huh? Wow.
probably
We've all seen his dick too, so that's always
yeah,
the
probably
only dick we've
Kane,
seen.
probably Kane, and then
Wow.
I
told you.
was.
Not Chewy.
There's a lot of Kane love out there.
Listen, Kane versus Goldberg for best Jewish wrestler of all time.
I was a Goldberg. I'm a big Sting fan.
That's a
I guess
good
I
one,
have to
right?
give that. Like, I guess I have to give them some love too. So
That might be my next top. That might be the next top 10 Jewish wrestlers. I'll do it for you.
I'm in.
So real quick,
shit.
I'm gonna do my Mount Rushmore would be Flair, Hogan, The Rock, and Jericho. That's my four. I think
That's
that's
a good. That's a solid four.
I feel like Jericho's second act again. Just the fact that he was the face of
Wait, Jericho's
five-
second act, third act, fourth act, fifth act, or sixth act?
five. He was the face of five companies: ECW, WCW, WWE, New Japan, and now
I met
AEW.
Jericho.
Crazy.
I mean,
Five.
holy fucking shit! Five companies, the face of them.
Le
nuts.
Champion.
I
So
want to
you got-
address the comment before
Yeah.
we go.
What do you got?
What's up?
Someone in the chat. Her name is Allison. So she was always mystified by the amount of grown men outside waiting to get tickets to a wrestling show in Boston. Now, let me just tell you, my wife and I have had this discussion, and what it is when everybody says that, be like, it's the man soap opera.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, it's not filled with weird shit like Days of Our Lives, but it's the man soap opera, and that's why we all watch it, and that's why.
The skull got
That's why
fucking
it makes it
flames coming out of it, bro. This is why.
I always say, cool guys watch wrestling. Cool people
That's
watch
right.
wrestling. They do.
I got this sweatshirt and seeing the bag that just says hell yeah. There's nothing better than that. Everybody behind you knows the business. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, who knows Game of Thrones? Anyone want to stay on and talk Game
No.
of Thrones with us?
We'll jump
All right,
off though, gentlemen.
I'm out.
Thank you guys so much. That was fun. Wrestling. Hey, wait, before you guys leave, real quick, has anybody in this place ever played Sporkle? The game's like the internet
You
type?
talked about that before, and I have no idea what it is.
Do yourself a favor. Either do the app or just go online and do it. It's basically a trivia game, and as you fill in the stuff, it'll fill it in for you. Me and my buddy at work used to spend days and days doing wrestling ones. It's all wrestling ones too. It's awesome.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, it's called
Check it out.
Sporkle. Check it out.
And
Gentlemen.
to the person who's saying that John's getting heat with that posh pick,
John-
very well deserved for that. That heat is
Yeah.
well deserved.
What
I
he
hate X-Pac.
for the X-Pac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junk.
You
But
hated
anyway,
him?
hey, no, I didn't like him. Didn't like him.
Oh, you didn't like the Generation X?
No,
I
I
love
loved
him.
it.
But
Like
Mount
X-Pac.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
Maybe DX. If you did
Mount
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore
Rushmore,
stables.
right.
Mount Rushmore
Dude.
stables.
6,
Um,
1, 2, 3 kid.
I don't want to
DX.
get into too much of the Game of Thrones, but everybody kept talking how good it was. So
Yeah.
I, for the 3 weeks after my kid was born, just sitting on the couch, I watched every season. I just
Yo, my
went
friend
through it.
did that. He
I was
used to
like-
make fun of us for it, and then he went out to Wake Island to serve out
But-
in Wake Island,
and
and he watched the whole thing, and he came back the biggest nerd in the world.
Well, I know. I was all excited. And I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Now I have to order HBO because I got to watch this final season. What a fucking
John,
major letdown.
check out this shirt. I don't think I even showed everybody my shirt.
Oh,
Ooh,
mean
there we
Mean
go.
Gene, baby. Mean Gene.
Oh man. Well, I'd love to stay on and talk some Game
I
of
know.
Thrones, but I gotta go. I gotta cook
Me
some
too.
zucchini.
All right.
I have a family.
See you
Go
guys
be
later.
adults. Go be adults.
Bang, bang.
I
Thanks,
think I'm
everyone.
here by myself.
See you later,
Don't worry.
guys.
We're gonna do a cool John hour. Hello, everybody. Oh, BAC is here. What's up, boys? Sorry, I had to tag in early there. I had to. I had to.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Is that BAC? Was he prepared for that? Oh, he brought his own belt. So what's up, everybody? This is We 3. So me, BAC, and Ned Snark have a little show. It's somewhere off in the distance, far, far away that you don't have to worry about. But we talk about Game of Thrones, Westeros, A Song of Ice and Fire. We have I think we're on our 3rd episode now, right?
Well, it's going to be hard to follow that wrestling, episode.
I am.
We have to
I know.
really step up our game.
I
BAC,
know. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
bud. We're ready. We're ready for. We're ready for war.
So they
I got
said
my
we
own,
have
I got my own
to.
long claw. I didn't see it from our first episode.
It's beautiful.
It's ready to
beautiful.
go.
You have your own Game of Thrones office there, don't you? That's like
Well,
your
I
little
have,
corner
I have the
right
rotating. Usually it's Jerry Garcia here, but for this special episode, I brought in
is
my
it?
map of
there. Yeah,
Westeros,
it's
And I'm
your,
wearing
it's
my
like your
Night's
charm
watch.
bracelet.
and I'm wearing my Night's
Nice.
Watch T-shirt.
Nice.
So.
Nice,
Yeah, I spent
perfect.
about probably like $1,000 on HBO Game of Thrones shit. So.
Me too. Same with HBO or with
Money
Harry
well
Potter.
spent.
Yeah, me and BAC, I think 6 months back, BAC, we were on Discord and we were just going at each other with all of our merchandise.
You think you're a fan? I got a chest set.
Yeah. I would throw something out there. And he'd be like, "Oh, you think you're a fan?" And then he would hit me back with something. But all right, guys. So what we do is kind of just break down Game of Thrones, really A Song of Ice and Fire, and we go from timeline. So we started off with the Doom, right? And then last episode that's about to come out this week, we did Aegon's Conquest.
Right.
Today, because of the short period of time, and they said we have to involve Minifan somehow with this, as if they were a house in Westeros. We're gonna do just like a dream special. So, in Game of Thrones, dreams they don't happen too often. Like, how many total dreams would you guys say there were? Maybe, less than 10.
Right. That's
I
correct.
would put it at 10.
Yeah, right around 10. But compared to the size of the books and the series, and we're not even done with it, that's not a lot as compared.
No.
Compared to deaths, look at that.
But they're all
Like,
important. The
one
dreams
every,
are
like,
few, but very.
Yes. Yeah. The dreams are very few. Yes, Ned. But they're important.
But they're very important, right?
Yeah. They haven't really explained why the dreams are important yet. Now, we have seen some things throughout the show, Tower of Joy, that kind of thing where, dreams kind of came to life in the show. There are still some unanswered dreams. It was kind of actually hard for us to pick down what we wanted to do here today because, you guys said, what were the two main ones? We were going to do Ned,
Jamie,
and what was the third one?
was it Danny? Or what was the
Danny.
second Jamie?
No,
Jamie had two.
we're gonna do two
Yeah.
Jamies, but Ned and Danny's are just talked about. I think it was you, BAC, that said they're just talked about to death, or maybe Ned, it was you. But
Yeah, me.
I think those dreams are Khaleesi's the most out of, I would say, them all. Khaleesi's because of how long she's in the story. Her dreams are, the house with the red door, that kind of dream is just constantly repeated. So, BAC, you want to kind of break down Danny's dream and the ongoing shit she has going on with her dream, and then we will go into Jamie's dreams, and then we'll close out with Ned's because I love Ned's the most. So, just give me a quick synopsis of what happened with Danny's dream.
Well, Danny has many dreams. Danny has a dream when she burned the pier with her husband in there. So that's one dream. I think that's probably the most foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That dream foreshadows the War of Kings.
Yeah.
It foreshadows a red wedding. It foreshadows.
See, that's the thing with these dreams, BAC, and that they It's so in the book, it's crazy too, because how they do dreams. Know who has good ones in the first book? Bran has really great dreams because when he's fallen from the tower, like it's crazy. The show missed that kind of stuff. Like that falling dream was ongoing throughout the whole book. Go ahead, Ned.
And even BAC, the Danny's dream was really induced by she drank the shade of what is it? The shade of she drank the stuff that they gave her in God damn it! Like now I forget the name of the city. So I'm not sure if that was actually a dream or a hallucination. The green, the shade of the evening.
Right. Yeah, shade of the evening.
When she went into the house. So I'm not sure if that was really a dream or a hallucination. We can call it either one, but that's the one that had the major foreshadowing with the blue rose and the wall of ice and the headless king with a wolf's head, the paper dragon, the mummer's dragon. Yeah, that was all foreshadowing, but I'm not. You want to call that a dream? We can call it a dream, right?
That's the thing. Like go ahead, BA.
So many. Well, I'm just saying that's the thing. It's like there's lucid dreams, there's visions, there's dreams. I mean, I think for all intents and purposes for this conversation, it's all the same, I would say.
Okay.
But they're not all the same for sure. But,
so let's get into the one that we really wanted to break down today. So Jamie has 2 dreams.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the first one, Ned. I know you're really you're intrigued by these dreams. You like these dreams.
I like Jamie's first dream even better than the second one for the reason that he had just left Harrenhal. His hand has been repaired, but he's still getting over the fact that he lost his hand. And unlike, let's say, Ned's dream or Danny's dream, he falls asleep using a weirwood root or at the foot of a weirwood tree.
Yeah.
Which immediately means he's right into the weirwood net, right? So and now
so basically in Game of Thrones lore, that just virtually means the old gods are speaking to you.
Correct.
And they speak in crazy ways, like you see in the show, where Bran has those quick flashes, and it's just like
people or people from the past, or people or there's a person they say in the books in the tome that are communicating with each other and sending messages, not direct messages, but like when you're most vulnerable, when you're sleeping. And in this case, Jamie, who never had this type of stuff, because Lannisters don't really have these type of dreams, although Tyrion might. He falls asleep on the weirwood, so he's now wired into the old gods and the weirwood, .net as they call it online.
Yeah.
So, and that of course opens up all sorts of stuff, right? He has his hand back, but he doesn't understand why he has his hand back. He lost his hand, but in his dreams, he's got his hand back. But of course, they call into his dream immediately falls into his honor, right? So he finds himself, he finds himself in water and dark area, like a womb, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of thematic visions here, but he's got Brienne with him all of a sudden. She's naked, but she has a sword. He has a sword, and they both emit a light. Yeah. And then through they're surrounded by mists and shadows, and through these mists and shadows emerge people who directly impacted why Jamie is known as
where he is.
Exactly. At that time, without honor, his reputation is shit.
It's kind of like all the past Kingsguard he served with, just walking up to him and like dissing him and then
accusing him, right?
And accusing him of what he did.
Right.
We left you with the king to save the princess, and this is what you did. Like that kind of shit. Dude, those chapters give you fucking goosebumps, man. I just got goosebumps from it. I love that
one. Because the first
is this the same one? Is this the same one with where he goes into the dining hall, or is that the second one? Where he goes into the dining hall and Robert Baratheon is there.
Oh no, that's a good. I don't know. The second one is he's back at his father's funeral, standing guard, and his mother shows up.
Oh, correct.
So this one though, Ned Snark is the first one. That's me. Ned Stark is the first one to emerge from the mist, and of course he goes immediately on the defensive, like fuck you. Who do you think you are? But it also bothered him that he was accused without saying anything. He was accused by Ned of who are you sitting on the Iron Throne, and once he got past that. Then his brother Kingsguard members start showing up, emerging slowly.
You're getting
the last one being Rhaegar.
Yeah. Yes. You're getting Sir Arthur Dayne. You're getting all the good ones. You're getting. I mean, he's served in the Kingsguard for a while at this time. BAC, do you have anything else on this first dream? I mean, this one's an epic one. I wish we got to see this one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
I know. That would have been great if they had done that.
They didn't adapt the dreams much into the show.
No.
I did not like that because that's a
The
big
brand.
part of the fucking of the book.
The books.
Go ahead, BIC.
So I would just say that in George's mind, I think what he was writing here is more or less the hero's journey.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Jamie entering hell, and this is the beginning of his redemption arc.
Yep.
A lot of things are foreshadowed in this one as well. Brienne, his death could be foreshadowed.
Correct.
A big part of the dream is that it says Cersei says, so who's down, just to set up the environment for people, the people that are there are Cersei, Jamie, Brienne, Joffrey, Tywin, and the King's Guard.
Yep.
And the
There's
King's
a lot
Guard.
of people there. And the King's Guard. So, I mean, the big thing, a lot of people interpret this as Jamie's death, for one, when it says that once his flame goes out,
Correct.
he will die, and Brienne's sword will remain.
Mhm.
So that's one thing foreshadowing his death. The other big thing is that when
BAC, especially for where they left off book 5. I mean, that's kind of right around where they are, like it's Brienne's or Jamie. I forget what the order is, but I think it's Brienne that comes up to somebody and says they found Jamie, or it's one way or the other. But
Yeah,
that's real. That could be foreshadowing what we're seeing right at the end of the 5th book.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I like that BAC because it is the beginning of his redemptive arc, where it's happening in his subconscious, or someone is manipulating him, someone is talking to him or sending him a message that he feels guilty. Right. He did betray his king. He is a kingslayer, but his reasons aren't understood by anyone, and we don't find out either in the book or in the show as to what his motive was.
This really is
but he holds a grudge. He doesn't like the fact. He'd like to tell his story, but he won't. He won't tell us
he does. Yeah.
Why he killed the Mad King.
Well, he finally does, right? In the show, he does to Brienne, right? BIC, like he does. And that's kind of the scene I picture them kind of relicking the dream out of, is the like where she collapses, or he collapses into her arms and stuff. But really, I think that's the start of Jamie's kind of redemption from being an asshole. I mean, everyone hated him in the beginning of the show.
And books.
And books. I mean, he's just an asshole. He's
more of an asshole in the books. He's really because with his point of view chapters, you hear what he's thinking. You read what he's thinking too.
Yes.
So he's a total fucking arrogant asshole, but he's such a wise ass, in his own mind. But you do want to take him down a notch, whoever you are. But he was good. He could fucking fight.
So we're at 47 minutes. Hey, Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Nick.
BA, I invited BA.
Hey.
So our first episode, we had BA sit in the background just because
the windbreaker.
I went classy because I'm with you boys tonight. You guys are talking like scholars, so I was like, I gotta put the golf shirt on.
So BA was in our first episode and he loved it, so I thought we'd invite him in to just sit in shock and awe. So BAC, I'm gonna have you do the second dream here.
But John, just one more thing real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So an important thing that maybe the most important thing about Jamie's first dream is that he had a little conversation with Rhaegar about how Jamie pledged an oath to defend Rhaegar's kids.
Right.
And a lot of people think that's foreshadowing that Jamie's going to fulfill his oath with Jon Snow in the future books. Because that's how he couldn't protect Rhaegar's other kids.
Yeah,
so I think he had a sacrifice to protect Jon.
We have a minute here we can talk about. Do you think Jamie, whereas in the show, obviously in the books he hasn't even made it to King's Landing yet, but do you think he's going north? Does that like your kind of theory then, based off what you just said? You think he's headed north for the Battle of the Bastards kind of deal?
I mean, I think Jamie's going to be maybe the second or third biggest character when all the books are said and done.
Yep, I do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Oh, the books are that far behind.
Yeah, they're way behind.
Oh, wow.
So actually, BAC, I think where book 5 left off, the 3 biggest things I'm looking forward to, Jon Snow's state? How is he going to be resurrected? Is he in Ghost? It's not. It wasn't in the show.
Because it's more hinted towards he's in Ghost in the book than in the show. In the show, they just had Ghost sitting there.
Correct. Number two is I'm not as worried about the Battle of Ice as I am about the Battle of Fire in Marine, because Danny is not back yet. Right.
No, and
so
they're not even close.
Correct. And Barristan is out there, and all the forces are gathering against Barristan Selmy, who's a badass, but he's just a soldier. He's not a politician. But the biggest thing to me is where Jamie's last point of view character was. He runs into Brienne. She says she found one of the Stark girls, and you need to come with me, and that's it. And he does it in a very robotic way. Like he's like, "Where have you been, my lady?" You know.
And like people are saying, you know, they walk up upon Pod, I believe, and they see. Isn't that when they see Lady Stoneheart? Isn't Pod and Brienne? Okay.
Remember, she and Pod and Sir Hyle were being hung or hanged. Sorry, because we're all hung. The four of us are.
Let's go, man.
Hung like Pod, right?
We're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were being hanged. She saw Pod and she stopped the hanging by saying, she'll do it. So the scene was she has to grab Jamie Lannister, find Jamie Lannister, and bring her to the Brotherhood of the Brotherhood Without Banners and Lady Stoneheart for judgment. That to me is like, what the fuck's going to happen to Jamie?
I think this first dream is just so important to where we are right now, as compared to that second dream. BAC, hit me with some quick facts about that second dream.
Well, I mean, the second dream, kind of what me and Ned were talking about earlier, I don't think this one would go in the dream category myself. I think
more
of a vision.
Yeah.
More of a vision.
Yeah. One of the things that is that dreams, like in Jamie's first dream, he had two hands. Yeah. Because it's his dream.
Yeah, they always point out one little tiny thing where you realize, oh, this is a dream. It's not. They'll start it off like it's a normal chapter, but then you realize, like, wait, why is Bran walking? You know, like something weird like that. You're just like, wait, he can't walk.
Oh,
so
they just throw it in like that.
So you'll be 20 pages into a chapter, and you just realize, like, Ned Stark is alive right now. It is the hardest thing to say Ned Stark when you're on the show.
Ned Stark. Ned Stark.
But BAC was going to say something.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead, BAC. Finish what you can say about his hands. In the second dream.
Right. So the second dream, he only has one hand.
Correct.
So that makes it seem like it's not a dream. It's more of a vision about, because he's meeting his mother. Okay?
Yeah. Right.
So this is coming face to face with his mother. And really, this whole vision or dream is about the whole subject is really, who is Jamie Lannister? Yeah. Who is he now? Who is he going to be? What does his father want him to be?
Yeah.
How is he? What his father would think.
I would say
his daughter.
He bases his whole lifestyle off of what his dad would think of him, but he just out loud says, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I love that scene in the show where he says that to his dad, and he's like, that's all you care, or whatever he says right there. Correct. It's a great fucking line. Yeah. That's what it's a great line. But I love Jamie's like psyche of the whole game. I think his point of view chapters are clearly the best. Clearly one of the best, just because of you get to see, just like in the show, how he transforms into a likable guy, kind of. And Brienne's a huge catalyst in that and everything too. So
I think at this time, John, or Hugo, BA should read the comments because there's like 5 of them.
Okay.
Oh,
go.
yeah. Oh, okay. Someone said
Allison T in Boston says John cracks me up at 6:33 while you're on the wrestling show.
Yeah, that wrestling show.
No one is watching this.
John, John, are you on every time slot in this Minifan mashup, or did you take a couple days off?
No, I didn't take any days off. I got on every day. Wow. Every show too. Every show.
Wow. Yeah, there's no
BA. You're actually commenting more. You're actually the third most commenter, BA.
Yeah. Out of all the comments, BA is 4 of them.
Adam in Jersey says, I've never watched a second of Game of Thrones. There's no Jewish characters.
Yeah, Manners texted me earlier. He's like, make sure you talk about Minifan stuff. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah.
No, I'm going on there and talking
Manners is going to shit. He's going to stand up on his desk and dump on this broadcast.
Well, Manners lost control. He already lost control of this whole whole thing. What was I gonna say? But the Game of Thrones talk's good. What are you gonna talk about? Subscription service, yes or no, for like fucking 5 days in a row?
No, we got
So our next episode is, so what we're at right now is we're doing the timeline. So we did just when the first Targaryen king just came over and conquered Westeros. So like we're gonna go from there, a couple kings and then a couple kings, and I mean there's a whole story of the background of that whole thing. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna break into more smaller stuff like this where we do we do.
Can you do
like,
a whole
different
show
things.
on like who the green people are? The green, the kids.
That's-
on
I mean, that
board?
would be-
the children of the forest, BA. They're not called the
Okay.
green people.
The green people.
Green
Jesus
Amateur.
Christ.
BAC. We got amateurs.
Wait till 10
Yeah,
years
yeah.
from now when you're canceled because of that comment.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, how racist is that?
That is
That is
that is
like
a little
green
racist.
people.
Yeah.
can't go
What do
in-
you mean green people?
Can you? I was wondering too. Like I did like when I was a kid. I got my face painted as a tiger's. Is that problematic now? Like I had face.
Soon, Joe Exotic. Very soon.
Okay, we're going down a path that we shouldn't go on.
Sorry.
Should we just point out things that might get us canceled on live?
Yeah.
I'm just fucking around. Sorry.
so what's
the
this?
dreams.
So the
Let's do
dreams,
this. Let's wrap up the
Tying them
dreams.
into the Minifans. We all dream. We dream.
How about we got five-
dream Kirk is global, and he's got. Listen, I've opened up a discussion with I think British Minifan, which is fantastic.
Fantastic.
He says he's in the city of Norwich, which I actually visited like 20 years ago. Great city. He seems to be a great guy. He says there are English Minifans. We need more Irish Minifans. We need French Minifans. We need German Minifans. Spanish Minifans from Spain.
Mhm. Not okay.
Right now we've got two continents right now. We have the North American continent and we have Australia. We got to start expanding.
We need some that can do some basic math as well, because that some people can't do that. So,
Who can't do math? Was that about me?
No, it's about me.
No,
Okay.
no.
I think I said a 10K download or 10K at $10,000 or 10K.
Yo, let's talk about that for a second. You just sneaky bastard going on that podcast with DEC a day after the episode after he just ranted.
But it was great. I listened to it
Oh,
this
did
morning.
he?
No.
I didn't even listen to the one before.
Oh no! It was great, BA. You were terrific.
BA, the guy that was on you was was electric too. Like
My boy,
I texted BA, the guy that was on with you. What was his name?
Brandon.
He was
Yeah,
electric too. He was electric.
Yeah, but I know 10,000 subscribers at $10 a month is not 120K a year. I just figured that out. Just figured that out this morning.
I spent a day in the bank that I work at doing some math.
Yeah, I was
figure
like,
out-
good thing I'm a bank manager, right?
Oh shit!
Bad
So-
Canadian public
so-
education system.
Well, I
So-
have kind of a Game of Thrones question, I guess.
Yes.
Go ahead. We'll
We're
finish
here.
it
Go,
up.
please.
They owe us 4 minutes. So fuck
Oh,
them. We're
okay.
taking our
Yeah,
4
that's
minutes.
true.
Like, so do you think, I don't know if you touched on this before, but do you think the books are going to end like substantially different from how the show like ended, or
Good question.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
around
BAC.
Robin. BAC, go ahead.
I mean, I don't think they're going to end the same, even though that's what people are saying. Even if they do end similarly, the journey to get there is going to be the big difference. Like Daenerys isn't going to turn into a, lunatic over two episodes. It's
Yeah.
going to take 2 books.
It's gonna take 2 books worth. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Correct.
it's about
All
the
right.
journey. Yeah, it's about the journey, not the end.
oh,
And I'll be quick too. So I kind of believe that at first I thought that based on the public derision, I mean, 100% of the people hated the show ended.
100%.
Maybe I don't know anyone online that actually said, "Oh yeah."
I mean,
this is
I
pretty
don't
good."
hate it. I just don't like that ending. There's
Right.
gonna be a different one.
So-
They're using it.
So the talk was first like, okay, George R. Martin was testing the ending, and he's going to change it based on that, but he doesn't do that. He's a gardener. He writes as like a gardener. So I do think in the end, somehow, Bran is going to end up being the new king. Although I'm having trouble with that too. Danny is going to go mad.
I didn't like that.
John is not going to be the king. I do think that they'll change a lot of things. I'm not sure if Arya is going to be the one that kills the White Walker, the Night King, because he's not in the books yet. BA, he's not even in the books yet.
Oh, really?
No. So I think that the way we get there is going to be different, but I think the couple of the key endings will be as they were in the show. Just that how you get there will be far more entertaining and make 1,000% more sense.
Yeah, because there's so much
Hugo.
more characters offhand. You're it's just got to be different based off the fact of the characters. It can't be the same because the people are in different spots. The names aren't there. It's got to be different, which gives us a few different routes of the way we want the story to go. I always said that's an advantage of the show ending before the books, because that gives us a whole new path to go down to now with the books, which is going to probably be better.
BA, have you read any of the books?
No, I'm not a big reader. I guess I'm not a big reader. I should probably get into reading, but no, I haven't read any of them.
Or you can do the audiobooks are fantastic.
Yeah.
Although now I noticed, you guys, that HarperCollins has taken total possession. About a year ago, I was listening to the audiobooks free on, I was listening to the audiobooks free on YouTube, and now you have to pay HarperCollins to get them.
Wow.
So I can't find a link or a site that has them for free like I did before. Because one of the actors of the show, I think BAC, you mentioned who it was. One of the Meisters on the show is actually the narrator.
That's Roy Detrice. Well, he's dead now, but he was on there too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the narrator of all the books up until he died.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you have to paywall there, so you can't listen to him.
So now they have the guy reading it that did the on Audible. The guy that reads it is the guy who did the World of Ice and Fire book, because George was he was dead by that time, Roy Detrice. Nick, we don't have much time. You want to come in here and Nick, come in here.
The comments.
Show us those beautiful eyes.
Killing.
Look at those eyes. Hey, Nick. So I think we're at 6 o'clock again tomorrow, 6 and 6:30. I think I'm on both shows again.
Are you really?
Fucking Christ.
So we all need.
I'm not.
Holy fuck.
I'm not. Look out for the schedule. There's probably some good shows tomorrow. I don't know who it is.
I think I'm on Friday. I was supposed to be on tomorrow, but I have a work event, so sorry.
What do you have to be on? Yeah, you have DC show again tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, John. Did you hear? I brought up how you said DC. I heard DC's name, and I thought I want to be like that guy.
He said it creeped him out.
You creeped out DC because no one wants to. No one thinks of DC. No one thinks DC and goes, "I want to be like that guy." So.
No one does. No one does.
No one at all.
Okay, I've got tomorrow's lineup.
All right, go.
The first shift, we have Menard, MHO Beast, Ned Snark, the lovely Ned Snark.
Lovely.
And the next shift, we have TJ, Red, Brandy, and John from Scranton.
Oh, I am on tomorrow. Wait, no, I'm not on tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
are.
it said in the screenshot.
You'll sneak your way in there.
You're on now.
Fuck you. You snaked your way in this fucking thing.
All right, look.
You called me before. You called me saying, "Hey, you want to come on?"
I was like, "Come on, BAC is here. I want you to talk to him again." All right,
So, look,
Nick, hit the end broadcast. Let's
wrap it up.
Beers.
Kirk, have a good vacation. Enjoy.
Hey, we love you, Kirk.
Are we having the after show? After party?
Yeah, we're having the after show right now. Nick's gonna pop that shirt off for us.
Oh, nice.
What?
Here, I'll get a beer. I gotta get a beer.